when I came to the conclusion that I needed to create your brand voice, I went to Marriott, my hotel, and said, listen, there's the plan, guys. I'm gonna give you a 90-day notice. I'm gonna book all this business, and when I do all of that, I'm gonna leave the company. I'm gonna create a digital marketing agency, and you're gonna become my first client. And they laughed at me. They literally giggled, and they said, okay, let me get this straight. You're gonna do blah, blah, blah. You're gonna book all this business, and in 90 days you're gonna resign, and then you're gonna start a company, and we're gonna start paying you to do what we do. Yes, that's what I'd like to do. And they said, book the business and we'll talk. And I booked the business and we talked, and they came to me one day and said, all right, so what are you gonna charge us? And I said, $1 a room. I don't know how I came up with that, but it was 2,000 room hotel, so it was $2,000 a month. And that's how we started. And oh man. Just makes me think about, the spirit of it then and where it goes, and the fact that the Marriott gave me that opportunity. A guest had commented that there wasn't a certain type of soda in the hotel because we were a Pepsi property, Marriott. Mr. Marriott was bailed out by Pepsi many, many years ago, and so he was very indebted to them, and so he only featured their products in his properties. But this particular guest wanted a different soda and a Coke product, and was bitching about it on Twitter. And so the front desk account was listening, and when it heard it, responded and had delivered by Banquets a nice little setup with the ice and the soda that they wanted all packed in there, and delivered and knocked on the door, and the guest was like, are you kidding me? But I got in early one day, and my routine was I'd come in, I'd grab a USA Today, a Wall Street Journal. We know they're sitting on the bell desk. I like to go around the bell desk because that was where I came from. So it was a fun morning going by and saying hi to those guys, grabbing the newspaper, and then heading down to my office. And then I'd kick back and turn on my computer, and I'd go through the paper and just see if there's anything going on, so I could talk about it, maybe with a customer, and just inform myself of what was going on in the world of business. And USA Today and Wall Street Journal were bar none the best, in my opinion. Maybe I'm biased, but so anyway, I go through this. I'm going through the paper, and I get to the living section, which is the travel section. And I open it up, and on the front page, it's talking about this hotel's use of Twitter to resolve guests' issues, and it goes on to have these drawings of the hotel and the staff and the interaction and captions, and I'm like, this hotel's on fire. And then I get further, and it's our hotel. I almost died. I mean, I literally kicked back in my chair and go, are you out of your mind? They're featuring our hotel. They've got caricatures drawn of our property and the storyboard of what happened in these scenarios where our hotel was listening, and then we went and fixed it. I mean, it was just nutty. So I just go to my boss, and he looks at it, and we sit there and we just marvel in the fact that we're on USA Today. And then it became part of Marriott's intranet as a documented best practice and best of class. And it opened my eyes to, man, you know what? We need to do this for more people, and that's where your brand voice comes from. It comes from wanting to be your brand voice, wanting to help you tell your story in your channel, not my channel, not a third-party booking engine channel, not a local news story, your channel, your story. And how do we do it interesting so it's, people watch it? That's where it all started. After being their agency for that account, eventually they outgrew that environment, and Marriott started to go more internal with that control-wise, and MLive was created. And one day they called me and said, we need the passwords. And
are these like big accounts, or? This
was the largest hotels account. Yeah, they were big accounts. And
did they actually?
Well, they were built from their infancy. So we started them. So they was like here, and back then there was no paid. It was just all organic. So if you didn't have support from major marketing, traditional marketing, it was hard to get traction in these organic games that we were playing. I mean, casinos at the time in Vegas had 50,000 followers. That was where I was, and we had 10. So we were that's kind of what we were dealing with. And now they've got millions of followers because we're talking 20 years later. I think the knowledge of what we know how to do and what we have done is where the gold is. It can be replicated. That's the point. It's not a rare gem that only exists one time. This is a intellectual understanding that when executed, can work across multiple different businesses. If there's a product or service, and then there's a customer service element, which is everything. And to me, service, the white glove service is where the world is going. Providing, it's not the rat race, it's not the this or that, it's the personalized touch. It's the time and effort and the individuality of every action that makes it interesting, it makes it sought after, which allows in hotel business to raise the rate because it's more personalized. And so when you take that approach online and you think small, every interaction, whether it's the Dr. Pepper story or it's the air conditioning view story, we thought of every single interaction as a big, big deal. And it came from my time on the bell stand and on the front drive. We're sitting there. The only way we make money is we interact with somebody. So we've got to engage. If we don't engage, we don't make any money. It's that simple. If you don't open every door, if you don't carry every golf bag, if you don't run after every car, if you don't carry the luggage up, if you don't load the van, you ain't making any money. And the only way you can make money is go engage somebody. Sir, let me get that for you. Ma'am, can I get that door for you? Thank you so much. Boom, boom. You need a cab? Here we go. And so you're constantly looking and anticipate people's needs. So when you do that in the listening game of social, and you take every interaction very, very seriously, it's amazing how collectively it creates such momentum. And it's a culture, it's a foundation. So to answer your question, I think we are sitting on gold, but I think it's right here. It's the strategy that we can share and we do share and that we live by.